What's up, everybody, and welcome to another set review, this time for the direct-to-constructed set for Foundations. We already did the Play Booster review. We rated cards. We said what we thought they might do in Draft. Now we're just going to cover the rest of the set. So these cards are not found in Play Boosters. These cards are direct-to-constructed format, so they are standard legal, but you're just not going to find them in Play Boosters. A lot of them are reprints. So for me, I've recognized some of them, but some of them at the same time, I'm not an OG, you know? I mean, I've been playing Magic since the 90s, but it was cafeteria Magic, right? I sat around at the cafeteria table. I had a burn deck. It was sweet. And I might actually get to play a competitive burn deck again, and we'll see how that goes. But that is an aside. Maybe it's not aside, because the color we're going to cover right now is red. And so we're going to dive into red. We're going to talk about whether or not we think it's going to show up in standard. Based off of the current meta. Things could always change. Things could always go sideways. But we're going to go ahead, jump into that review right now. This will move a little quicker than the previous reviews because we're not going to rate the cards. We're not going to go deep into analysis. We're going to kind of read the cards, understand the cards, and then see if there's a place for it in standard, and then just keep cruising. So first up on the list, we're going to go in increasing order, both in CMC as well as rarity. So we're going to start at the lowest cost, lowest rarity. We're going to move from common to uncommon to rare to mythic, and we'll make our way all the way through this set. So first up is the Kindled Fury, 1 red instant. A target creature gets +1/+0, gains first strike until end of turn. I don't think you're doing quite enough with this for it to make it into anything. You know, it might trigger prowess. It does give something first strike, but there's other ways to either get double strike or trample. So I think it's just a little too little to see any standard play. Next up, this is one that we already see some standard play, so we're going to continue to see this. We could see this in like a mono red Wizards type deck. But this is a nice card, a 1 mana, 1/2, as long as there are 2 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard. This creature gets +1/+0, and has haste. So we could see this one for sure. Make it into standard. Next up is Crash Through. Is a 1 red sorcery. Creatures you control gain trample until end of turn and draw a card. I really think you need the damage for it to be used in like any mono red aggro deck. So I don't think we're going to see this one. Next up is Swab Goblin. Yet again, these monkey goblins, like I said, these are monkeys. They're not goblins. I don't understand. It's a 1 colorless, 1 red creature, goblin pirate for 2/2. We're not going to see it. Go put it in your pirate deck or your goblin deck. Scorching Dragonfire. There's potentially a chance that we could see this. This is a good draft card for sure. We saw it in Duskmourn, but we're not. If it did it to a player as well, I think we might see it. But I think it's just a little too focused to make it into standard. Kargan Dragon Rider is 1 colorless, 1 red creature, human warrior. As long as you control a dragon, this creature has flying. Put it in your dragon deck. Put it in your dragon commander deck. It would be fun. Dragon Fodder. Look, we got more hairy goblins. Is 1 colorless, 1 red, create 2 1/1 goblin creature tokens. This is, again, go put it in your goblin deck. Have some fun with it. Viashino Pyromancer is 1 colorless, 1 red. It's a creature lizard wizard. When this creature enters, it deals 2 damage to target player or planeswalker, and it's a 2/1. I think it's a little too little, but maybe it could. There might be a place for it in like a burn deck, but it would be a fun draft card. I think it's just going to be hard to make it work in standard. I should quick change to the Bolt shirt. I should, but to keep everything uniform, I'm gonna go ahead and just keep the black shirt. It helps with timeline. You never know when these videos were recorded if I just keep the black shirt. Impact Tremors is a 1 colorless, 1 red enchantment. Whenever a creature you control enters, this enchantment deals 1 damage to each opponent. I think it's a little too little, if that makes any sense. So I was actually looking at a Gruul burn deck. So this is a Gruul burn deck that I was playing around with the idea of. And this is sort of the standard for burn. right? 2 damage to any target, lightning strike, 3 damage to any player, burst lightning, 2 damage to any target, or 4 damage. Instead, if it was kicked, bolt wave, 3 damage to an opponent. Hired claw, every time it attacks, it does 1 damage to an opponent. Slick shot, show off, has haste, goes right over the top. So that's kind of the standard for burn. It does play a few creatures: hired claw, monastery swift spear, questing druid, screaming nemesis, slick shot. So it's playing 20 creatures. Like where would you put this card in there? I mean, it's gonna do damage every time a creature comes in, but it would work really well in definitely a commander deck, because it's to each opponent. So every time I create a creature, or whenever a creature you control enters, so it's not just one, it's whenever it does a damage to an opponent. So you could definitely do some really interesting things in commander with this, but I just don't think it's going to fit into like a modern or a standard deck today. Seize the Spoils. 2 colorless, 1 red sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create a treasure token. We're not going to see this one. We're not going to see this one. Raging Redcap. 2 colorless, 1 red, creature, goblin, knight. This is funny. You just can't see. It's just swinging. It's got double strike, and it's a 1/2. It's too slow. We're not going to see it, but it might be fun in your goblin deck. Goblin Smuggler is 2 colorless, 1 red, creature, goblin, rogue. It has haste. It's a 2/2. When another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. So this could actually, well, it's a little too slow. It's too slow. If it was like 1 colorless and a red, I could definitely see you playing this in like a aggro deck, and then tapping a card and making it unblockable, and then juicing it, just putting a bunch of stuff on it, putting your monstrous rage, putting your snake scale vein. Wow, what is that called? I can't think. It's gone forever. Snakeskin Veil on it, so you could buff it after you've declared that this creature can't be blocked. So there's definitely some interesting things that you could do, but it's just too expensive, so I don't think we're going to see it played. Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind is 2 colorless, 1 red. It's a tap, add 1 red. If that mana is spent on a dragon creature spell, it gains haste until end of turn. Put it in your commander deck is what I'm going to say. You're going to hear that a lot. There's a lot of cards that work well with tribes in Foundation, I found. So if you're doing a tribal-based commander deck, a lot of these are going to fit. This one's going to fit. Go do it there. Skyraker Giant is a 2 colorless, 2 red, and it has reach and is a 4/3. We're not going to see it in play. It's a cool card, though. I like the art. It's kind of cool. Giant took down a dragon. Capacious Dragon is a 4 colorless, 1 red creature dragon flying 3/3. When this creature enters, create 2 treasure tokens. We're not going to see it in standard. That's cool. Go put it in your dragon deck. Put it in the deck. Fire Elemental, 3 colorless, 2 red creature elemental. Put it in the deck. You could go put it in your elemental deck. Goblin Oriflame, 1 colorless, 1 red enchantment. Attacking creatures you control get +1/+0. No. Again, go put it in the deck. I just need a sign. Put it in the deck. Dragonlord Servant is a 1 colorless, 1 red creature, goblin, shaman, dragon spells you cast. Yeah, go put it in your dragon deck. See, like I said, just go put it in your dragon deck. Obliterating Bolt, 1 colorless, 1 red. This is Obliterating Bolt does 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it instead. This is a really fun. Is this? Oh, we're well into uncommon. This is the 3rd uncommon we've had here. This would be a fun draft card for sure. I just don't think it has a place in standard. Like 4 is a weird damage. Like it does kill quite a bit, but at the same time, there's a bunch of stuff that's above it that you would prefer to like exile. I'm thinking like Sheoldreds, the demons, cards. I mean, I guess it would exile things like the Enduring Blue card that gives you extra card draw. Gix's command or Glissa is who I'm thinking of. So They could have some potential, but I think you're just trying to be too quick, and this is too defensive in red, in all honesty. Giant Cindermaw, 2 colorless, 1 red. It's a creature dinosaur beast, 4/3, trample. Players can't gain life. Interesting. Not going to see it in standard. Put it in your dinosaur deck. There you go. Gutter Snipe, 2 colorless, 1 red. Creature, goblin, shaman. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature deals 2 damage to each opponent. Maybe? How many? So 4 sorceries. There's 20 instants in sorceries. So if every time I cast one of these, I did an extra 2 damage. And it's... I honestly think it could... It could potentially take the spot of Screaming Nemesis, in all honesty. It could potentially take the spot of Screaming Nemesis. It would put it in there, and then every time I cast one of these, it gets an extra 2. Like, maybe. We could potentially see it in standard. Mindsparker is 1 colorless, 2 red. It's a creature elemental. First strike, 3/2. Whenever an opponent casts a white or blue instant or sorcery spell, this creature deals 2 damage to that player. You're not going to see it. It's too limiting, but you can put it in your elemental deck. Put it in the deck. Valerie Veteran is 3 colorless, 1 red. Creature, goblin warrior. This creature enters. It deals damage to target creature an opponent controls equal to the number of goblins you control. Put it in the deck. It's going to go in your goblin deck. It's not going to see it in standard. Battle Rattle Shaman. That's funny. 3 colorless, 1 red. Creature, goblin, shaman. It's 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have a target creature get +2/+0 until end of the turn. Yeah, go put it in your goblin deck. Put it in the deck. Ravenous Giant, 2 colorless, 2 red. It's a creature giant. It's a 5/5 for 4. At the beginning of your upkeep, this creature deals 1 damage to you. I don't know where you would want that, but sure. Bolt Bend. This is cool. That's Ral. That's cool. You get to see like the Planeswalker. And then that's another card. I hope it's Nadu. There's fucking up Nadu over there. 3 colorless, 1 red. This spell costs 3 less to cast if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Change the target of spell or ability with a single target. I don't think we're going to see this played anywhere, but it's fun. I don't think anything's going to have a power 4 or greater in red, really. Unless you're playing like an Izzet deck and doing something crazy there. I guess if you were playing an Izzet deck and then there is a couple cards that scale with like number of lands. So maybe in an Izzet deck, you could do something interesting with that, but I doubt it. Hoarding Dragon, 3 colorless, 2 red. Flying, when this creature enters, you may search your library for an artifact card, exile it, then shuffle. When this creature dies, you may put the exiled card into your owner's hand. Blittering Bolt already sees play in standard sideboards. It's currently legal. Blittering Bolt. Yeah, I'm thinking main board, but yeah, I could see it as a sideboard card for sure. Especially because of the exile. Yeah. Fair. Good call out. Yeah, a lot of these are already standard legal or reprints of standard legal cards. So yeah, this would go Dragon deck again. Dragon Mage, 5 colorless, 2 red, creature, dragon, wizard, flying. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, each player discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. Again, I'd go put it in your dragon deck. It's pretty cool. When this each player discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. That would really mess up the board if you were playing Commander. You're giving everybody a fresh 7 cards, though. That would also suck, though. If somebody was just walking around with like 1 or 2 cards, and then all of a sudden they have 7 cards, you just help them. Really. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It would cause chaos in a Commander game, but it's not going to see standard play. And that will finish up the uncommons. Over into the rares, we get Strom Kirk Noble for 1 red. Is a creature, vampire noble. This creature can't be blocked by humans. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on it. Interesting. I don't think we're going to see standard play out of it, though. Dropkick Bomber, 2 colorless, 1 red, creature, goblin, warrior. Other goblins you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Another target goblin you control gains flying. And when this creature deals combat damage, sacrifice it. No, probably not going to see that. But you can put it in your goblin deck. Torian Mauler, 2 colorless, 1 red. It's a creature shapeshifter for 2/2. It's a changeling, so it is every type. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, you may put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Put it in any tribe deck that you might have for red. So you can put it for goblins, you could put it for dragons, pirates. I'm thinking what other red meta cards there is. But yeah, as a shapeshifter, it's definitely just going to be able to do anything, and then it gets counters on it. So fun little card you could put in there. Harmless Offering. So this was the card I was thinking of. So it's a red card, 2 colorless, 1 red. It's a sorcery. Target opponent gains control of a target permanent you control. And then there's an enchantment, a black enchantment, where it's you choose one that you haven't chosen. And it was like gain life, draw 2 cards, do something else, and then lose the game. And so that would be a funny one to like give somebody. And then the other thing I was wondering is like, did it retain the choices? But I don't think it does. But it'd be funny, like use 3 of them and then use this card and give it to them, and the only one available to them is the 4. It retains the ones you've chosen already, so you could use 3 of the ones you've already chosen, and then give it to them, and then they lose the game. That would be funny. Harmless Offering. And it's a black card. It's a black enchantment. I forget what it's called. But that one's funny. Ball Lightning. 3 red is a creature, elemental, trample with haste. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this creature. It's a 6/1. That's kind of fun. Trample and haste. If I had flying, I think it would be really ideal. I don't know if we'll see this one. It's fun. It's aggressive. You might see it in an aggro deck. But I don't know. I think it's a little too limiting. Redcap Gutter Dweller is a 2 colorless, 2 red. Creature, goblin, warrior, menace. When this creature enters, create 2 1/1 black rat creature tokens. With this token can't be blocked. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on this creature and exile the top card of your library. This thing does a lot of stuff. I would definitely throw it in a goblin deck. I don't think we're going to see it too much in the old standard, but definitely put it in a goblin deck. It does a lot of fun stuff. Gratuitous Violence. 2 colorless, 3 red enchantment. If a creature you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead. Again, fun commander card. I doubt we're going to see it in standard. Lathless Dragon Queen. Gotta love dragons. 4 colorless, 2 red flying. And it's a 6/6. Whenever another non-token dragon you control enters, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. This would be awesome. This would be an awesome draft card if you could, if it was in the draft set, but it's not. It would be a fun little, like, I would definitely draft it in like a dragon tribal thing. Definitely put it in a dragon tribal commander deck. This thing is awesome. Terror of the Mount Velis. 5 colorless, 2 red, creature, dragon, flying, double strike. When this creature enters, creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. Again, dragon deck. Do some crazy stuff. Not going to see it in standard, though. And that will round out the rare. And now we're on to the mythic in red, which is Dragon Master Outcast for 1 red. It's a creature, human shaman. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5 red dragon creature. I mean, that's hyper aggressive. If you control 6 or more lands, and you drop this bad boy. Oh, it's got to live, though. It's got to live through a turn, and it's a 1/1. Somebody's going to be zapping that thing out right away, especially if you're, 5-6 lands in, so your turn 5-6. Like, I doubt we'll see it, but that's fun. It's a fun idea. And that, my friends, that's the only mythic card in red is Dragon Master Outcast. With that, my friends, we have come to the end of red. If you've made it this far in the video, you might as well do the thing. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. All of the interactions help get the videos out to other people who like Magic the Gathering content like yourself and want to watch this guy try to live out his dream of qualifying for the Pro Tour in the next 5 years. And as part of that is doing set reviews, doing drafts, doing constructed. And you can find all of that here on this channel. And I hope you appreciated our journey so far through all of the Play Booster sets. And now we've made our way all the way through the direct to constructed or direct to standard cards from white, blue, black, and red. We got one last of the main 5. We have green to do, multicolor, and then colorless. And then if there's any lands, we'll take a look at those as well. So until next time, we'll catch you all at the table.